Afternoon, Justice Warriors. I'm back. Thank you for joining me. As always, I am just so appreciative of all of you guys. Um, it is November 7th. It's Monday at about 2:41 in the afternoon on the East Coast time. And I've just got so much to share with you guys. I just feel like this case is kind of exploding, the Kiely Rodni case. Well, I mean, it kind of is with that whole Jared thing, but that's not my concern, as you know. I always like to start out by saying that everything I say is my opinion only. It's sheerly for the sake of conversation and opening up a discussion, hopefully entertaining and educational. And it is really just made for us YouTube folk, right? So sit back, relax, enjoy. There's a lot to unpack. And thank you guys so much for your greetings and salutations. So, yeah, if you saw this morning, it was kind of packed, and I got a little flustered there at the end because I was about to get off the video, and Harsh came into the conversation, and I was like, man, I can't leave with Harsh here. I was just beside myself. I mean, that was pretty awesome. So I appreciate every single one of you as much as I appreciate Harsh, and I'm not kidding. Okay. I just am amazed with his work, and he's only been doing this for like a year, I think. And he's just really, I think, a good person and a good role model. Seems to be a good dada too. And I have 4 children myself and have been married to my hubby for 30 years. Fingers crossed that it keeps working out. And I just think it's really important to stay humble no matter how things are going in your life, no matter what's going on. Once you start getting ahead of yourself, you're going to fall. I mean, it's just part of life and it's just part of this process. So I'm ready. I'm ready to fall because this whole last 2 months has just been crazy with the taking off of this channel. And that is really thanks to you guys. You guys are the wind beneath my wings. And I can't say it enough, but I'm just going to get right on to our topic because I am 2 minutes, 46 seconds in, and I like to get down to business because that is what we all came here for, right? So let's get into it. I left off that last one. I've got all 4 of my notebooks here. I'm just going a mile a minute. Okay, I left off the last one with, I think it was a comment from my chat a few days ago where somebody tagged Brooklyn and said, at Brooklyn, I did it again. I do know that there was scanner activity saying that Placer County requested a Nevada County to assist with missing person at Prosser at 12:53. And so that's word for word. And I read it twice before, and I'll read it twice again because, again, I almost screwed it up. At Brooklyn, I do know that there was scanner activity saying that Placer County requested a Nevada County to assist with missing person at Prosser at 12:53. And I don't know if it's AM or PM. I haven't been able to find it. I don't know if anybody else went out looking for it, hunting. Mark Molina says, let's tag that one. What does Mark Molina say? I remember SF Investigate says Kiely got 2 gallons of gas. How did he know that? What are the facts in this case? My therapist says she does think kids would be mature enough to put Kiely in a car. Thoughts? Oh, Mark. Yeah, lots of thoughts, lots and lots. Where to begin? Yeah, so for those who don't know, SF Investigates had stated a while back, I think in like a ZAV panel, that he knew that Kiely bought 2 gallons of gas that day, which he never said how he knew, and he sort of acted like, he was holier than thou because he knew something no one else knew. But he went on to presume a lot of things, like that she couldn't have gone more than 30 miles or something. So he was like, oh, so we were in a 30-mile radius. Okay, you can't assume anything just because she may have bought 2 gallons of gas. You can't assume that she was all out of gas. She could have had a half a tank and just put a couple gallons in case she wanted to do a little night driving or something. I mean, really? Come on. And I'm just so curious, Mark, that you said my therapist says she does think kids would be mature enough to put Kiely in a car. Thoughts? So, my thoughts, as you guys know, if you've been keeping up with my podcasts, is I'm going back to the basics and still in the shitstorm of the allegations against Jared. I'm going to stick to my course and go back to the basics. So, I really think it's important to just keep a clear path, keep my eye on the ball. A lot of the most important information in this case, I believe, came out in the first few days. Um, and then they've kind of been taking us down the primrose path, leading us in this direction and that direction, and now trying to get us to freak out about what Jared did 30 years ago um, when he was a kid. And, my prayers for Jared and his family and his cousin and his sister and anybody else involved in this. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. So, that said, I did mention earlier today how jarring all that information is to all of us. And, we don't give like trigger alert warnings often enough, I don't think, on YouTube, because really all this stuff with Kiely is kind of trigger alert stuff. Sorry, that was a scam likely. um and when we get triggered, we get flustered and we have trouble seeing clearly and thinking straight. And it just gives that sense of, I think about it like a snow globe. Like you're living in a snow globe and somebody just shook up the snow globe. I mean, that to me is what getting triggered is like. So you just kind of have to get your bearings. You got to just sit still, let the dust settle, let the storm settle, and then just focus right where you're at and go from there. So, we are all living productive lives. We all have our hobbies and our jobs and our friends and our families. And then we have our little true crime YouTube habit that we have to feed. And, my point is that we've got a lot going on. It's easy to get sort of thrown off course. That's all. That's all I'm trying to say. So, you know, it really strikes me that, being indicted is a really big word, right? I mean, I know court stuff and it still kind of makes me scared. Like, what? Indicted? All that means is formally charged. So, all it means is a formal allegation. It doesn't mean anybody's guilty of anything. We've got to allow our justice system to do its job. Also, on that same note, we've been in this whole cancel culture the last couple of years with COVID and just the whole thing with slander and libel and trash talking and talking smack. You know, try to be a grown up, try not to do it. And I really try hard not to do it. I do sometimes, I like to be honest. So I do say what I'm thinking and feeling. And if I ever say anything that is unwarranted, I apologize in advance for that. I honestly do. But if I think it's warranted, I'm going to stick by it. So I'm not saying I'm right all the time. I'm not saying that at all. Um, but, essentially this whole thing, and then we're going to talk about Kiely, finishing up with the Jared mishap. To me, this is SF Investigates coming out, telling the world, hey, 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 my nemesis is in trouble. Check out what's going on over at his house. See ya. Gotta go. So it's just a bunch of crap. Um, it's all about discrediting Nick and what he saw. It's all about discrediting AWP, but specifically Nick, which ties right into Kiely. So, Nick, the roadside assistance guy, did he see Kiely? That's the big question. That is astoundingly, that is like one of the linchpins of this entire thing, right? Did Nick, the roadside assistance guy, assist Kiely at her vehicle on Saturday, August 6th at 11:30 in the morning, when this narrative is that her car went into the lake at 12:33, you know, 11 hours earlier that same morning. So obviously, if she was in that car, that can't be. So what are we looking at? Are we looking at Nick being incorrect? Are we looking at Nick being a liar? Are we looking at Nick tending to somebody who introduced herself as Kiely that looked an awful lot like Kiely? We don't know. And hopefully we will find out. But at this point, we don't know. And as far as we know, we'll never know. Nick knows, AWP knows, Kiely knows, God knows, right? Jazz therapy, I like that. Squirrels on fire. Hey girl, how are you doing? I'm gonna tag what you said. Replace pinned message. I think Nick told truth, but he was inserted as a distraction and rumor as he picked some people up at the party. Ah, squirrels, you got some great, amazing ideas. I like the way you think. Um, and yeah, that's, you know, most things in life are like that. Like if it's A or B or C, both of the above or all the above. Um, I think most of the time it's all the above. So I really like that. Nick told the truth, but he was inserted as a distraction. And rumor is he picked some people up at the party. So yeah, we got to be careful about rumors, but you know, we don't really have anything but rumors in this case, do we? I'm going to tag Brenda's above that as well before it disappears. Quick, quick, tag, replace pin message. Okay. I'm still not sure if he saw her Friday or Saturday. Maybe the Saturday was said to throw social media in a spin or off the scent. You know, Brenda, I really appreciate your comment. And I think for myself, I want to be very careful. I think we all need to be in thinking that a lot of this is orchestrated and that the more we think that it's orchestrated, the more conspiracy theory we can look, and then people can write us off and just say, oh, those YouTube folks, they're just a bunch of conspiracy theorists, right? Which we are. I won't deny it. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, in all seriousness, my opinion is that the Catfish crew is conspiring against AWP. They're just trying to take them out at the kneecaps. They're just trying to wipe them out because they're trying to get away with covering the murder of dear Ms. Kiely Rodni. Who are they covering for? We may or may not have had a couple of love triangles with her ex-boyfriend who's like obsessed with her. Phantasmic Ether says, do you know why AWP removed the part Nick states the girl introduces herself as Kiely? That's such a brilliant question. I've gotten ripped for stating because people didn't see the um right, the members only vid where it said that. I can see where your spell check or whatever. 100%, 100%. Do you know why AWP removed the part where Nick states that the girl introduces herself as Kiely? I've gotten ripped for stating that because people didn't see the members only video where it was said. I'm so glad you brought that up because I kind of take it for granted that people know that part. And probably most people watching don't. that in the members only video, Nick said very precisely and distinctly that this young woman introduced herself to him as Kiely. He never stated whether he knew it was Kiely or didn't know it was Kiely. He never stated that he believed it was Kiely or that he didn't believe it was Kiely. All he said is she introduced herself to him as Kiely. And to me, that's a lot of information, even without anything else. And then the fact that it was removed from the members only tape when they put out the public version a couple of days later tells me it's even more important. So that's kind of what has had me sticking to my opinion of the whole situation as I see it. So the situation as I see it is that Nick could well be 100% accurate and earnest and authentic and genuine. That's what I lean towards. I question that. I've questioned him every inch along the way. I really have. And I always get back to that. So I think that if he was full of it, that he would have been sliced and diced by now, but they can't go after him. So they're just going after the whole machine of AWP. So we got a lot of great comments in here. I always want to apologize to you guys for missing some of your amazing comments. And I'm always trying to get through my notes and your amazing comments. It's a fun balance when it's done well. It's hard to do it well. I've been thinking about Kate leaving the country after this. I think she may have been smelted into this madness and maybe had a little breakdown. Maybe. PJ Barker, thank you for your comment. No disrespect, but I totally disagree. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm a little punch drunk, but I'm thinking more and more that she's a guilty party. She was in a love triangle with Jagger and Kiely. So the fact that she ran, that makes people look guilty in my eyes. So, and usually in the eyes of the law too. So I really don't mean to be flippant about disagreeing, but I'm so glad you brought it up. And I do disagree. I'm getting more convinced of her sinisterness and not just being in the wrong place at the wrong time with her creme brulee. So let me just read your comment one more time. I've been thinking about Kate leaving the country after this. I think she may have been smelted into this madness and maybe had a little breakdown. Maybe. So that's sort of what I thought at first, was that she was coerced into getting Kiely into the hands of Sammy, because Sammy was having a love triangle with Kiely. And there could have been a couple of love triangles. Remember, we got teenagers, we got hormones, we got a small, boring town, we got lots of money, we got lots of drugs, we got summer, we got living it up, we got Miss Sammy being the biggest fish in this small pond and ready to leap into a giant ocean at a giant university in California, where she knows she's not going to be no big fish in that giant pond, at least not as a freshman. She might be able to climb her way up socially and get there. You know, she seems pretty adept at that crap. So I know I'm missing so many great comments. Thanks, you guys, for your great comments. So Butterfly McCoy says, tags squirrels on fire right after that. I'm going back a few minutes here, just 3 minutes. And I agree about Nate H being the one Nick saw after bugging me that Nick said brown hair sticking out a little bit. Jagger has long hair. And I addressed this morning, you guys. In the information that I've been gathering and gleaning, Doug from AWP stated very clearly in one of his interviews, or more than one, that Nick was shown a picture of Jagger and that he ID'd him right after that interview, and that the artificial intelligence of the camera on the car also confirmed. So that's my opinion, and I'm just going to leave it right there. But it brought to mind another extremely important issue that we've not discussed. Okay. Where are the body cams on like the Prosser County Sheriff and deputies? Where are the body cams on any of these law enforcement? Where are the body cams on any of the 160 professionals that participated in the search? Where are the body cams? I haven't seen a single body cam. That concerns me. That concerns me a lot. That leads me to believe that they don't want recorded anything accurately recorded from what's going on in their town. That's simply where that leads me. Body cameras are pretty much almost a given for most police departments in this day and age, with all of the shenanigans that have been having, that police departments have been having. Um, Another tidbit from my cute tiny notebook. Um, the judge, I'm going back and forth. The judge in, is it Nevada, where the indictment for Jared is right now? The judge's name is Mandy Larson. We've got somebody with that last name in this situation. It's not that uncommon of a last name. It's not that common of a last name. I just thought it was interesting. I thought, better look into that. Mandy Larson, the judge in this situation. Very, very interesting. And one other thing from this page, this is kind of a big one, just to like hit on real quick. Kind of hard. We could spend an hour talking about it. How many other bodies are the powers that be concerned about AWP discovering all across the country if they get franchised the way they're trying to get franchised right now? I mean, just Lake Tahoe, there's rumors that there's more bodies than anybody has any idea at the bottom of Lake Tahoe. It's supposed to be very, very deep. And, you know, Utah, Nevada, who knows? The whole thing with Utah is fascinating. Kevin Neese did a 45-minute show about the Mormon church last night, I think it was. I just watched it this morning. It was extremely educational. And just the Mormon church controlling the entire state of Utah and the police and all that good stuff, all that bad stuff. The post-traumatic stress disorder, I think that the whole Kiely Rodni case kicks up for so many of us, especially those of us that are parents. I have kids right in that age range of Kiely. It hits home. We're concerned about Kiely. We're concerned about anybody like Kiely. And just to yank our chains with messing around with this case, just trying to create distractions, trying to throw out red herrings. You got to look at where the source of the information is coming from. I've said this again and again, and the timing. Why right now? And I'm not talking about Jared's accuser. I'm talking about the person who brought it into the YouTube social media format over the weekend. So let me put down my tiny notebook and move on to my bigger notebooks and look at some of your awesome comments here. PJ Barker, I'm going to pin this one. I've been thinking about, oh wait, I already did that one, but that one is so good. and I do want to apologize for being flippant about disagreeing with you. It's really good to have the discussion, right? And just different points of view. So now this is how it happens when I'm going up and down in the scrolling. So sorry about that mistake there. Replace pinned message. Did I do it that time? I don't know if I did. No. Dang, it gets really confusing with things moving fast. Okay, I'm gonna pin right here from just a couple of minutes ago. Dana Berger. In order to reenact it, they will have to wait until next year when the water levels rise and aren't frozen. Right. So now, Dana, thank you for bringing that up. Such a great point. They've had their first snow in Tahoe, so they can't reenact anything out there at Prosser Lake, Prosser Creek Reserve until next year. It's, probably what they were praying for. Who is the third person that was bruised up during the early search for Kiely? So we know Sammy had bruises on her legs. We know Mags had bruises on her legs. There was a third person, and I'm wondering if anybody watching right now might know who that is. I don't know who it is. I'm asking, it's not like a pop quiz. And Larson, no match. Oh, Squirrels on Fire, you were so far ahead of the game on that one. Oh my goodness. So do you have an idea? Let's see. Kate, Mags, Sammy. Isaac. Wait a second. You saw bruises on Kate and Isaac? I got to see these pictures. Wow. Yeah, Zanime, the upper arm. I think that that's the third one that I was thinking of, because I did not know that there were bruises on Kate, although I have heard people mentioning maybe like a bruise on her face or something, or a mark. And I have not heard about Isaac at all. So yeah, in my mind, it was Mags, Sammy, and Zanime. So Kate on Fox 40, yes. And Anna Mainich had mad bruises. I'm not sure who Anna Mainich is. Is that one of the friends? Zanime. Is that Zanime? She said that she fell down the hill. Yeah, that was a little goofy, to say the least. Kate was covered in bruises. I got to see these photos. Can you guys email me? Seriously, you guys know the email, justiceatooz@gmail.com. And like I say all the time, anybody is free to email me, and I appreciate your emails. If you've got photographs of Kate's bruises, I would really like to see those. We should all be looking at Check It. He is suspect, in my opinion. I agree. I absolutely agree. I also wanted to say that this move that has been made against AWP is, like, to me, a chess move. And I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like that these people might have just put themselves in checkmate. I might be getting ahead of the game, and it's important not to do that. But I'm just like, you know, it's just so ridiculous for them to run with that. Like let these people deal with their horrible, gross sexual assault histories. Let them deal with that in a little bit of modesty and privacy. My goodness. I mean, how horrible. How horrible for Jared's attackers. I'm sorry, Jared's the attacker, for his the people making the allegations. So they're not attacking him. They're making allegations that are very valid. So I'm sorry for that slip up. I got to slow down. How horrible for them to be in the national spotlight or in the YouTube spotlight. Like that stuff is difficult enough when you got a blue dot over your face, right? Like going back to the Smith Kennedy trial. For them to have their names out there and to have the emails out there, to have the histories out there, I would imagine that that's got to be difficult. And my feeling is that they're getting used by the catfish crew that has ulterior motives, getting used, maybe even getting paid. Anyway, let me read a couple of your amazing comments here. Squirrels on Fire. My husband is an expert, pretty much of a genius. Dilly Owens. on them surveillance cameras if you ever need to ask someone in that line of question. Yeah, and Squirrels on Fire is really good with that stuff too. So good to know. Ironic that our buddy Megan, let's see, what happened? It's so annoying when it jumps around like that. Sorry, you guys. Okay, here we go. Pin. Ironic that our buddy Megan reappeared in such a timely manner with this Jared situation mysteriously surfacing phantasmic ether. That's what it was. That's what it was. I was wondering what she was coming out for other than laying the groundwork for no news on November 1st. I think you just hit it on the head. I completely think you just hit it on the head. Wow. What do you guys think? I never ask that. There's a lot of channels that say, hey, what do you guys think? I always want to know what you think. But that is making my mind implode right now. Squirrels on Fire says, I build cameras, honey. All but one of mine I've made RF night vision in the works, but would love to be in contact with your hub's opinion at Dilly Owens. Very cool. Phantasmic. It happens every time with Megan. Oh my goodness. Thank you for putting two and two together, Phantasmic Ether. This is what I'm talking about, being gaslit, you guys. Like, we all know that, but we can't put two and two together because we're so freaking gaslit. So thank goodness Phantasmic Ether has some kind of clarity. And thank you for sharing that clarity. Oh my goodness. Ugh, that is just nuts. So Miss Rome, hello. Let's see if I can pin yours. I'm trying. Replace pinned message. I really think that this whole Jared distraction was put out right after Squirrels on Fire said they were going to go over the AWP footage. Squirrels on Fire have discovered a lot. I think you are on it, Miss Rome. I honestly think that you are spot on. I think Squirrels on Fire is scaring them to death. And, you know, wow. Wow, wow, wow. I honestly believe that that is key and crucial right there, what you said. Let's go to Deb White. No one knows Jared's background. He was 17, mentally 15 with what happened to him. Right. I mean, he was victimized as well. We're not making excuses for him. And with what happened to him, who knows where his head was at. Also, a therapist told me it's common for family members to experiment on, probably says other family members, or just experiment on. Right. I mean, this whole thing is an awful family tragedy, and it's not uncommon. It's uncommon that people talk about it. It's uncommon that people share that information, but it's probably a lot more common than any of us know. And especially not to be saying anything negative about the Mormon church, but the Mormon church, they've got all that stuff with the many wives and young wives and sisters and cousins. I mean, it goes hand in hand. So, yeah. It sounds like Jared is doing his best to be open and honest and direct with himself and the people around him. So I wish him and his victims, I wish them all well through this process. And I just feel bad that they've got media attention and spotlight. Like, that's got to be horrendous. That could be enough for some people to end their lives. Really? Seriously. And I feel like they've been used, that Jared's victims have been used by the catfish crew. Am I wrong? I doubt it. I really doubt it. Okay, I just got to keep up with your guys' stuff because you're just blowing my mind. Squirrels on Fire says, I know why he did. He can F off Stacy Gladden. Me running his background is why he had to attack me before it fell in my hands. I'm not worried about him or his felony record. Yeah, this stuff gets hideous when people go real life. You know, we're internet sleuths. Like, leave it in cyberspace. I mean, come on, come on. And Deb, I could not agree with you more. I want to highlight that one that just says it very simply and to the point. Absolutely. It's a family matter, shouldn't be all over the internet. It's really personal. I mean, sexual assault is so personal. And when it's incest and just, the taboo with that, what a shame. What an absolute shame. So I brought this up, I think yesterday, and I want to bring it up again. Maybe Squirrels on Fire knows about the Cards Against Humanity. Wasn't there a deck of Cards Against Humanity found with Kylie's stuff that was underwater with her vehicle? And what's up with that? Like, is that supposed to be symbolic, or I mean, I don't really know what they are, other than it seems like kind of like a card deck of like truth or dare, maybe. um what kinds of cards are those? Aaron Hicks asks. Yeah. I do know about Cards Against Humanity. Tell us, Miss Squirrels, please. I need to have the thing, the StreamYard. I keep saying I'm gonna get it, and I keep almost getting it and just not following through. So yeah, what can you tell us in this? Or it's just a game we play in a grouping. I can explain Cards Against Humanity tonight if you'd like. Okay, and I'm curious, that would be great, and I'll try to drop into your live panel if I can, and if I'm welcome, if there's room, if there's time. Um, yeah, I'm just curious if there's more to it. So yeah, we can put a pin in that and address it tonight in Squirrels on Fire's live. I'll do it at the beginning of my live, but I don't think it's anything sinister, just proves they too are human, in my opinion. All right. Sounds good. I don't know why everything is nefarious in your eyes, and that's the problem. So delusional and paranoid. Okay, Travelcado, I'm not sure who you're talking to, but I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic. I'm just totally not sure. Um, Everything placed perfectly right at the angles at the top of Ms. Kylie's vehicle, all according to Sammy's script. Oh, goodness, Sammy. So let me talk on that for a moment. Just Sammy and her script and her attitude and her words, and all of those kids' scripts, attitudes, words, their posts. Um, it's all wrong. Nobody has a genuine "I love you, Kylie" post, "I miss you, Kylie" post, "I'm so sad that you're gone." I mean, I've seen a couple of posts that almost look like that, but they don't seem at all genuine. I mean, I would imagine that most people may share a similar opinion. Um, we're just not seeing it. We're not seeing it. I think that so much of what these teenagers present to the camera and to social media is their truth. And they're really bad at hiding their truth. I mean, they're just putting it right out there. Brenda says it's a warped game and good for when drinking, partying with friends, or similar. Ha ha ha. Yeah, that would be um, weird. Jagger was close. Jaggins was close. Yeah, he was kind of close, but not really. I mean, he has said the most dreadful things to Kylie in his sappy little "I love you, miss you, you stupid idiot. If I was there to protect you from your dumbass self." I mean, ugh. Squirrels on Fire. I just pinned your thing and I want to read it out loud. I wouldn't doubt it if Travel Travel Taco is secretly linked to someone who attended the party and tries to police chats and lives. Yeah. Um, I've got a mod to be looking at that, so I'll just let that go with my mod because she's really good at that stuff. That's kind of her forte. That's why she's my mod. As bad as this is to say, but it could be some type of psych op. What is the one thing that brings people together? Well, normal people, children. Rhonda says, Sammy is not worried Kiely is gone. She literally partying post videos the next day after they found her and no posts of anything of the huge party. Smack my head. Exactly. All of those twisted posts, all of those bizarre, all the smirking, all the gloating, all of the sticking it to you look in her eye in her interviews. Yeah, it's just really, it's not a good look. It's absolutely not a good look. So where are we at? We're at 40 minutes. Let me see what else is kind of jumping out at me to share with you guys. And I'll also read a bunch of your comments. So let's see. The sorry I wasn't there for you. That was a comment that an Evelyn Tebb put up in one of the posts about Kiely. Sorry I wasn't there for you. I want to say it was in the a post of her in the flannel shirt, the sleepy post. Evelyn Tebb, sorry I wasn't there for you. Yeah. And then that whole Milo dude, Milo Miro. I said it in my live earlier today that if that body had not been discovered by Adventures with Purpose or anybody else, they could still be saying, well, we are pretty sure she disappeared because she had that weird Lana Del Rey sweatshirt and, you know, she's a teenager and she's stressed out. And, you know, I really think that that's what they would be doing. Okay, so Travel Taco is gone. Good. Yeah, I don't know that person. And yeah, I was like not at all sure what was going on. And, you know, I just don't have time for that. Like, I appreciate people like Kevin Neese who will spar with those folks, but it's just not my thing. I like to focus on the positive people. And trying to figure out when people are being sarcastic is really hard in chat or in text. I mean, sometimes I'm sarcastic and I try to be very explicit when I'm being sarcastic because as obvious as you think it might be, people might not understand that. And then they totally take it the wrong way and go a different direction. And it can just be nuttier than a fruitcake. Is that Kylie's real best friend? Real best friend being Mags or Kate or somebody else. I don't know, but I'm looking at this one too. The sleepy post creeps me out. Wonder if she was sleeping or knocked out. Right. I definitely think she was knocked out and possibly deceased already, Rhonda. I'm thinking you might not have seen Squirrels on Fire's 9-hour video from a couple of days ago. I highly recommend it. I know 9 hours is rough. You can do it at double speed. There's the last part of it, like the last 3 hours maybe, is about that photograph. And then also earlier, maybe at around hour 3, at hour 3, there's part about it, and you know, you can see the photograph of her in the flannel shirt. So at about hour 3 until however long that part is, and then Shonda decides to put it away for a while because she's getting so sick of it, and then she goes back to it at about, I want to say hour 6, maybe not. I might not be right. She might be able to tell us. I just did a 6er last night. I know, I saw that and I haven't watched it yet, and I really want to keep up with your stuff because you're doing amazing work. and I really appreciate it. So I would recommend that for Rhonda, who was asking about that photograph. It's pretty fascinating. It's really fascinating. But I am also very fascinated with that other picture of those three girls that night. I'll probably use it for my thumbnail for this one. Where there's the one blonde girl with her eyes closed and the two brunette girls that are smiling, and the girl with her eyes closed is just kind of like doing the duck face or the pouty lips. And it's quote unquote been debunked and said that it's not Kiely. But why was it circulating? And I'm not convinced that that's not Kiely. So I would love it, Squirrels on Fire, if you haven't already, if you would do the same thing with that photo. I'm going to go ahead and pin you here. I just appreciate you so much and what you're doing. So I think they all staged that pic with items of their own clothes. But I need to take a break from it because it's emotionally hard to look at knowing what I see. I agree. It's nauseating. It's absolutely nauseating. And, your eyes start to play tricks on you. I mean, with the pixelations and the lighting and stuff, I mean, even when you're seeing it very clearly, you know exactly what it is you're looking at. After 10 hours of looking at something, you need to step back, maybe take a whole 24 hours off and then look at it with fresh eyes, or show it to somebody who doesn't know anything about the case and just ask them cold, like, what do you see? That's how you get some really good information sometimes, especially your friends that are super smart. Because a lot of my friends are super smart. They love true crime, but they're not into it because they just don't have the time for it. So I'll run something by a friend that knows nothing about this, and I'll just be like, oh my goodness, you nailed it. This scenario with the apartment basement in Jamaica, California. Okay, Dana, I missed what you guys are talking about, but I'm going to go ahead and pin that one because I know some about the apartment in Jamaica, California. This whole case just makes your head spin. So much gaslighting, intentional gaslighting, intentional gaslighting from grown-ups that work for NASA and have contracts with big banks and people. And then the gaslighting from these teenagers that just think they're kicking everybody's ass, that they're smarter than everybody and they're up to no good and that nobody can catch them. Man, I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it. I'm sick of the gloating. Every time Sammy or Jagger address the camera or they post, they're always with their snide in your face, like just laughing at you, laughing at us, like, ah, ha, 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 I'm a scoundrel and there's nothing you can do about it. And I can step up and say, hey, I'm a scoundrel and there's nothing you can do about it. Prove it, right? They're protected and they know that they're protected. My big squirrel fan, you got mad skills. Aw, from the mod. Yeah, anybody who doesn't know Squirrels on Fire, check her out. Oh, look, we got 22 cents in the house. I gotta pin that. I haven't seen you in a while, man. I just checked your page to see if you got any new material. Much love, Justice. Y'all hit the thumbs up. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Can you share with us if you want what you're working on? I figure that you are working on something because I know you're always working on something, but if you're not, that's okay too. And if you don't want to share, totally get it, understand. Thank you. That's really sweet. Just share, spread the love. And yeah, that was nice of him to try to remind me to remind you guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up, subscribing, sharing, it does a lot to help. And I was talking about it earlier. If people unsubscribe, that's okay too. Do what you feel is important for you. This stuff, I think we can get really divided about this stuff. Like, I only want to talk about the situation with Jared as it applies to Kiely. I really want to stay focused on Kiely. I know a lot of the channels are just running wild with the stuff, and that's fine. Different strokes for different folks is what I always like to say. Um, yeah, Squirrels on Fire, mad love and respect for our 22 cents. I don't know what the GTSY stands for. Maybe I'm just not thinking of it. Her nails were off, was in the autopsy. That's so creepy. Um, and I imagine that you're talking about Kylie's fingernails, but my eye really caught that because in the Squirrels on Fire video where she's breaking down the sleepy photograph where Kylie's wearing a flannel shirt, not so unsimilar from this one, but different colors. Her hand is in the photograph, and I think it's her like pointer finger that the nail to me looks really gray and dead. But Squirrels on Fire has been breaking down every like molecule of that photograph, and it's pretty freakish and gory. And I think she's right on the money. I think that she knows what she's talking about, and she's not trying to, trick anybody into anything. If you look, you can see leaves on her shirt. And then just recently, we were talking about this was just last night, wasn't it? How her arm that's over her head is so big. It's like, because she's a skinny girl. I have bigger arms, but her arm looks even bigger than this. It's like bigger than her head. And it's bizarre. And it's very Frankenstein like. Um, Aw, Stacy says, I appreciate that so much. Just to say to Z, and I'm not even sure what over. It's so hard to keep up with it all. Let's see. I'm just gonna jump to this one because it's so hard when I go back and forth. Let's just try to not do that. But I do know that Maddie was called by Lindsay, not Mags. Madeline goes to the campground to check. I want to talk to that child. Madeline, very interesting. Very interesting. And hoping for answers says, I saw that was said also, no fingernails. Ugh, gross. Gross, gross, gross. And her hair, right? Her hair was off, which I kind of missed that detail in the autopsy somehow by choice, maybe. And then people have been wondering, well, then why was her hair down yonder so neatly well kept if her hair on her head was coming out because of being in the water? So I don't know. I don't know. We need more likes, please, and thank you. So yeah, if you guys haven't hit the thumbs up button, if you want to, that would be great. All is fair in love and war. It's true. 190 watching. That's nice to have 190 watching and only a few likes, please. So yeah, I don't worry about it too much, but I do like to just put that message out there. I got to go see Squirrels on Fire last video. Yeah. So her one from last night was 6 hours. I kind of hopped on in the middle for 30 minutes and I just had to get to sleep. I was so tired with the daylight savings. Oh my goodness. So let me try to wrap this one up because we're getting close to 1 hour. And very important to remember that photograph, the sleepy photograph in Squirrels on Fire's video from a couple of days ago, that's almost 9 hours long, that photograph was released the day after she was discovered by AWP. I think I said it in this morning's video that it was as though the kids were trying to say, look, girl sleeps in the back of her car all the time. This is just normal, right? I mean, to me, it's my opinion that that's what people do when they've been involved in something nefarious like that, is they try to make it look like it's all just routine. Like, oh yeah, totally normal. Totally normal. No. Be safe. I love you. Last words from Sammy. Last words from Mom. Exact same words. Be safe. I love you. How interesting is that? And, people have often wondered if it was some type of an initiation, hazing type of thing. Was this Sammy needed to take somebody out in order to advance her own self in some kind of community. Makes my head hurt. It really makes my head hurt. Um, let's see. That at the end of Squirrels on Fire's 9-hour video, Megan is doing her own live and Squirrel drops in on it. I hope it's okay for me to say all this because what I wanted to point out was that somebody was posing as a police officer. I don't know if they actually were a police officer. I don't know if you've had any follow up on this Squirrels on Fire, but I think the police officer was telling Megan that their last name was O'Brien and that their badge number was 6608, not 666. I had to. Okay, so O'Brien, Truckee Police Department, allegedly. Very, very weird. Very, very odd interactions. A lot of people were alarmed and were saying things in Squirrels on Fire's chat like, oh my goodness, somebody call first responders to go do a welfare check on her. Yeah, it was very bizarre. Very, very bizarre. So going back to what I was saying a few minutes ago about these kids being so cocky, so snide, so contrite, and mean spirited. There's no like broken-hearted one. Mags had a little bit of that broken-hearted authenticness show through. But all of them should be broken-hearted. They lost their freaking friend. It's not right, people. We know it's not right. Nobody can gaslight us into thinking that this is normal for kids to be so cold, right? Oh my goodness. So, part of what I was talking about with being in a snow globe and having it shaken up and how PTSD, when it triggers us, that's what it does. Part of that is very scientifically based. It's in neuroscience and the synapses with our thought process. And that is what this psych ops stuff is all about. They understand neuroscience, they understand synapses, and they are intentionally trying to shake up your brain like a snow globe, right? Jagger is just eating up this Jared AWP thing. He's just loving it. Oh, shocking, right? Yeah, well, I hope he enjoys it while he can, because the more they do this, the more they reveal themselves, the more they are just being despicable, awful, dreadful people enjoying. Why would you enjoy Jared having assaulted somebody? Why would you enjoy anybody having assaulted somebody? That's disgusting. Check yourself, man. Jagger's a sick, sick child. I mean, I know technically he's not a child, he's 18. Dude, really, really sick. Really disturbing. They should be haunted. It's definitely bigger, and we have to stick with this. And hold on a second, you guys. Let me just turn this off. I'll get right back to them. Sorry about that. Nate and Madeline Wicks, are they related? I'm just sick of all this and everyone involved. I know, me too. I'm so sick of it, but I'm not going anywhere. Like I might get sick of it, need to step back for a moment. But no, the more they do the gaslighting, the more I dig my heels in, the more motivated I get. I'm so sick of this crap. I'm so sick of it for everybody. I'm so sick of it for all of us. I'm so sick of it, like I've said, for everybody before Kiely. I'm sick of it for Kiely. I'm sick of it for everybody after Kiely. You gotta call people out on this shit. You don't kill anybody, period. Right? You don't. No acts of violence at all against anyone, especially vulnerable people, especially children, especially elderly, especially disabled. It's disgusting. It's so disgusting. 16 years old. Give me a break. That girl deserved to live a long, healthy life and be free to do whatever she wanted, to be able to live wherever she wanted. And I can't help but think there's a huge issue of abandonment with this whole case. That Kiely had abandoned Jagger when she dumped him. Kiely had maybe abandoned Nate Hambrick. She might have dumped him too. Kiely was maybe going to be moving out of the lodge because she was going to be starting school at Sierra College. So she was fleeing the nest, abandoning her mama. Just a lot of abandonment issues. We all have abandonment issues. It triggers us. If we had Sammy, Kate, Mags, Lindsay, Jagger, Nate, all feeling like Kiely was abandoning them because she was moving on with her life. Maybe she said things like, I'm so sick of this place, I'm never coming back. I know people say that about small town life all the time. It's very common for teenagers to have that attitude. Who knows? Who knows? Yes, Dilly Owens, you are correct. Oh, MC, my mod said to pin squirrel, so I'm going to go back and try to find squirrels on fire. Okay, just in. Thank you, mod. You're so sharp. Did I already pin that one? Yeah, I did. Okay, sorry. Just in, an attorney, or no, maybe you pinned it because I don't know that I did. Anyway, an attorney who's giving out juicy info says 8 FBI units agents are on the case. They confirmed that the tow truck driver didn't see Kiely and Jagger, but they couldn't say who it was. Wow. So that's just 3 minutes ago. Very, very interesting. Good job, squirrel. Thank you. Yeah. And then, so I was pinning Dilly. I'll get back to that one. Dilly Owens. They need an investigation on the investigation on the investigation on the investigation. I agree. Totally agree. Sometimes when people are in the same family, they may have a last name used as a middle name. Oh, John Courtney, hi there. Are you talking about Ross? Are you talking about Stephen Ross? Is it Greenberger or something like that? I'm not sure who you might be referring to. Please don't let the FBI spoon feed you. Good point, Stacy Gladden. Yeah, we can't let anybody spoon feed us. Yes, I think she told Jagger of her troubled life at home and in town. He has hinted her unhappiness in some comments he made. Right, but he was also trying to hint that she like offed herself. He was like, "Oh, I hope you found the piece that you wanted, that you were looking for." Yeah, he's a piece of crap. Not trusting anything from that kid. Him making that video of him pretending to throw Kiely off the pier twice in her lovely black dress. I'm so glad that Candace Starr made her video about really addressing what sociopathic behavior that is, and that it's just a typical profile of a domestic abuser and a stalker. When he put that post up of the video and he said that she never knew he made that video, that's creepy as fuck. No way around it. That's a sick son of a bitch who makes a video of his ex-girlfriend as he's approaching her, getting all affectionate and cuddly, and then jokingly throwing her into the water in her platform shoes and her fancy black dress. That's a crock of shit, man. That's disgusting. That kid is twisted. He needs serious, serious help. I doubt he'll ever get it because he's just a narcissist. And people with personality disorders don't want to change. And you really have to want to change to bring change into your life. I always figured that it wasn't Kiely that Nick saw. Hopefully, he will be validated now. Right. Um, but I also think that it could be Jagger. I always figured it wasn't Kylie, personally. That was always my opinion. I think it's highly likely, my opinion is it's highly likely Kate and Jagger, but it could be somebody else. I definitely don't think it was Kylie. It could have been, but I don't think it was. And it could have been not Jagger, but maybe someday we'll find out. Kylie was like, I care, but get your hands off of me. She really was. Yeah. Like she was hugging and kissing with him. But then, yeah, they were kind of wrestling their arms and, I mean, who knows what was going on in their relationship at that point. It seemed like that was well after the breakup, but it sounds like they were still um, friends, maybe friends with benefits. And then he was sleeping with Kate, and she maybe was sleeping with Nate Hambrick, allegedly. I mean, those scenarios get very out of control. And especially when, like I was saying earlier, when you've got teenagers, you've got rich teenagers, you've got all that money, all of that boredom of small town life. I mean, we know that teenagers hate small town life. They want action. So what do? They have Fight Club out there at Prosser Creek Reserve. They have Fight Club with gambling, right? I mean, something happened. Something happened. We know that Kylie was in a fight with somebody. Doug said it very clearly in his video, and they bleeped it out and they put that little black box over his mouth. And I think some people have seen the video of him mouthing whatever name he said, that Kylie was fighting with somebody. Was it Kate? Was it Sammy? Is that where things went south? My conceptualization of it was that the fight was planned. That's why she was brought there, to get her ass kicked. And maybe somebody was planning on offing her, and maybe other people didn't know that things snowballed. That's my opinion. Let me pin this one and then we'll wrap up in just a minute. She didn't want to interlock her hands with him, but you can see he wasn't taking no for an answer. So they did the uncomfortable arm flowing thing. Get your hands off Kylie. Yeah, very, very well stated, Mrs. G. Very well stated. I think there was a fight and Kylie got hurt, misguided says. That's what I think. I think that's a pretty popular opinion. She was a trophy that she was a trophy that Scamander Holic made available. Scamander Holic, are you talking about Sammy? I sometimes call her Scammy. And yeah, Steffi Marshall, to be very blunt and honest, it sounds to me like what you're saying is that she was a trophy that Sammy made available in a very, very despicable, disgusting kind of way. So I don't know if that's what you're saying, but that's what I read into that. And that is my opinion as well. I'll just go ahead and say that. I'm going to be straightforward about it, as horrible as it is, and as much as I hope that I'm dead wrong. I hope I'm dead wrong. Hey, Crime Watch with Kenny. How are you over there in UK? I'm going to pin your thing there. I still have my money on Nate C. Also, Milo had a hand in it. Nate C also supplied the other girl. Then he wouldn't have been taking any chances with Kylie. Right. Right. It's so sad. It's so despicable. So you guys, I'm going to wrap up just because, I like to keep these not entirely too long so that we all have time to go watch Squirrels on Fire and her marathon videos that are well worth the marathon. I mean, I could watch her all day, and I do. That's what I did yesterday. My goal in the morning was to get that 9-hour one watched and to get all my laundry folded, and I got most of the 9-hour one watched and I got most of the laundry folded. So it worked out well. And, I just appreciate you guys more than words can say. I always like to wrap up my videos with my words of simple wisdom and advice that I give myself. Drink the water, it's all empty almost. Stay very well hydrated. Eat well. We need our nourishment. We need to feed ourselves clean foods, protein, veggies, fruit, and a little bit of chocolate too, right? Ice cream, definitely ice cream. Get your exercise, get your fresh air, take it easy, be kind to yourself, be kind to other people. Find what you love and what inspires you, and keep the crap down to a dull roar. Having healthy boundaries and just keeping things at a distance, shelving things that you don't feel like putting your energy into, or you want to give yourself a while to think about it before you get back to it. Just make good decisions for yourself. And, you don't owe anybody anything ever. It's all about you. Take care of you. So, on that, and especially us moms, right? We really need to be reminded to put ourselves first. You guys have a great afternoon. I'll see you in the morning. Thank you.